In this lesson, I'm going to talk about a tune called Ace of Aces, which is the debut track of the Fearless Flyers, a side project of Vulfpeck that I have with myself on guitar, Mark Lettieri on baritone guitar, Joe Dart on bass, and Nate Smith on the drums. Now, this one is interesting because where it came from was I just had this line, and then Jack, who was producing the album, the band leader for Vulfpeck, he had mined a handful of clips from just like live shows of either Mark or mine or different, any of us in the band, different ideas that we had. And he said, let's work on these concepts as different things. Let's use Cory's line as the anchor, and then let's kind of think of 4 different sections of playing over kind of one chord. Now, the thing that I see a lot of people where they get this wrong when they cover it is that they're not intentional about the sections. And I'll explain what I mean by just kind of explaining how Mark and I think about our guitar parts in this tune. So it starts with the main line. That's basically compositionally the majority of what's happening quite easily, right? But then what happens is during the first, I mean, I'm not even gonna call it an A section. During the first kind of verse of the tune, the concept that Mark has is just kind of jamming on an E9, but doing this, right? He's sticking to that sort of thing. And when I'm layering, when you're thinking about a second guitar, what I play is baritone guitar on this one, and mine is tuned A to A, not B to B. What I'm doing is I'm kind of thinking almost like another bass player, because Joe's playing a little more simple on this, so I'm going. And the way that Mark's part and my part weave together is kind of an arranged thing. And then there's holes where we have these little, this little line. So halfway through we play this line. Play it again. So we have that line halfway through, and then we play it at the end. But in the main part of it, we're really thinking kind of parts, and our parts function together. Then we play the riff again, and then the second verse thing that we go to, Mark's whole concept is E7 sharp 9. We're almost thinking Shining Star, Earth, Wind, and Fire. So it's all about that E7 sharp 9. And then on the halfway point and the end, there's another line. That line happens unison between Mark and I. So 2, 3, 4, 1. For me, I'm also outlining that sharp 9 or flat 3, but I'm keeping a similar sort of rhythm to the first verse. I'm going. So we're both really leaning into that sharp 9. That's the whole concept of the second verse. Then we play the riff, and we go on to the third verse. The third verse, this is one, Mark's whole concept, and I guess mine too, is like a little bit of a gospel-y downstroke thing. And this was a concept that came from Jack watching one of Mark's Instagram videos or something. I don't really remember what Mark plays. Something along these lines. It's kind of this. So he's got a little sixths thing happening, and then it's just downstroke funk. So what I'm doing is kind of a gospel quartet line, this sort of like. goes right back into the line. And now this last one, it's a bass feature. It's a bass feature that goes into a drum feature. Mark's whole concept is E9. Sustained strummer guy. And then it's just building energy along with the whole thing. And because Joe is playing a bass solo and he's going up high, I kind of change my function and go into like a little bit of a slap bass part to cover for him. I do that for a while. And actually, I think I play that most of the time up until even through the drum solo when it's all building and getting crazy. And then it ends on the line with a tagged walk up 4 times and we're out. So you can see Mark and I have very intentional things that we're doing on every section of this tune, and they both have the same source material for inspiration. And we're trying to align our parts that work together that kind of fit that thing, but work together to kind of create something new. Hopefully that helps.